It's a brand new day, bright every dreaming for.
Hi, this is Ina.
Hi, this is Ken.
And this is
The
The
Current.
Current. So, for today's episode and continuation with our Spooktober
October.
series, we're going to talk about another true crime case that is very um, popular among the true crime community.
Okay, so who was
Who's he?
who is it?
It's Theodore Bundy.
Theodore
Theodore
Bundy.
Bundy. So, I'm sure when you
Theodore
um,
Bundy.
research about true crime, his name is one of the
Popular.
most popular ones. Yes. Okay,
So
Theodore
he's
Bundy.
more popular than
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, when I started with true crime, actually, I first heard about it. Actually, it's because of the movie It. So I
It's
was
the
the
clown.
clown. Yes, I was curious. What is this about? How did they come up with this concept? And then I heard that it has a resemblance to a true crime,
Mm.
um, a true crime, which is the case of John Wayne Gacy. So he is Pogo the Clown. That's his alter ego,
Mm.
Pogo the Clown. So when
I haven't watched it.
John Wayne Gacy is another. Does he have a Netflix?
I think so.
I don't know, but I do know Ted Bundy has one. So and it's played by Zac Efron.
Oh.
Yes. So but and after I researched about John Wayne Gacy and then I researched about other serial killers just so that just because I was curious, I came upon the name Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. So
Who is Ted?
who is he?
Ted Bundy is another American serial killer.
Hmm.
He is said to have 36 victims. He
Oh.
That's only the confirmed
Oh,
ones,
okay.
but police speculates that he has 100 more body count or more body counts. But he said in an interview that he would not disclose cases which are close to home and also involves very minor victims.
Okay.
He said that. So he killed the confirmed kill number that he has is 36 women.
Women?
Women.
So, if Jeffrey Dahmer is into men,
Ted Bundy
Ted
is into
Bundy's.
women.
Okay.
Yes. So Ted Bundy is I would reveal some of his modus operandi and how he
Okay.
operates his killings,
Mm-mm.
and then we go to his early life, what happened to him, and maybe I'll say some of his love life
Oh.
because some of them are involved here. I also actually saw interviews of some of his ex-lovers. Um, and then we'll go to his, I'll say some of his victims. Itemized only, I won't say the name. And then we'll go to his arrest.
Okay.
Okay? And how he died. I will have a cheat sheet here because I don't know a lot of the details, the
There's a
important
lot.
details.
There's a
Yes.
lot of details.
Yes, my brain can't handle this too much
Information.
information. Okay, so who is Ted Bundy? Ted Bundy is said to rape victims before beating them to death.
Oh, so they're still alive, and he
Yeah, yes, and then afterward, he's also a necrophilic.
Okay.
Yes, like Jeffrey Dahmer. So he likes to have sexual
Okay.
encounters with dead people also.
I see.
I read in an article that he would, because this is his process. Um, he would abduct a girl with the pretense that he needs help, and then when he lured him into his car, that's when he would rape him and strangle her to death, and then dump her body uh,
They're fine.
in a hidden place.
Hidden place, okay.
His I think it's Taylor Mountain that he frequented. I'm not sure, but that's what I remember. I don't know if this is from another serial killer that I've researched, but I think it's Taylor Mountain. Um, and then he would go back to where he dumped that body and pleasure himself again.
Oh my god.
Yes, he goes back to it until the body is not recoverable anymore because maybe
Animal
animals
already.
already ate their flesh or things like that.
Ooh.
So that's Ted Bundy. But his way of murdering is gruesome because, as we said, uh, no, not as we said. In the previous episode, Jeffrey Dahmer strangles his victims to death, so it's personal attack, but um, with Ted Bundy's case, he bludgeons his victims to death. Yes, so it's more gruesome in comparison to the two, but still, okay. I'm not saying that Jeffrey Dahmer is more kinder than Ted Bundy. I'm just saying that he Ted Bundy's way is more gruesome than
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, so it said that he started in 1974 in
I
Seattle.
have a question.
Yes, yes.
Does he eat body parts?
No,
He's not a
he's not a
cannibal.
cannibal. That's
Okay.
the difference. He's not a cannibal. Not reportedly, and not that in his interviews
Mhm.
he did not say that. Maybe he did. He isn't because he confessed to 36 killings and he did not mention. He actually, in some of his interviews, he detailed his murder, how he operates. So,
Oh, I see.
and I don't think he would have the time because he dumps his body.
Mhm.
He dumps his body. No, he dumps
Even
the
the
body
body
of
of
his
his
victims in places that is not his apartment. Although he did bring, there's a certain number of skulls that he actually of heads that he tried to preserve, and then eventually got rid of. So he's like Jeffrey Dahmer. He collects heads, but only a few of them,
Mm.
not all, because his victims were some of his victims were recovered only parts of them na lang. Yes, because they're too unrecoverable. That's how he operates. I think one of the confirmed cases, they only retrieved the kneecap,
OMG.
not the whole
The
body,
whole.
just the kneecap. Okay, let's continue. Okay, he lures his victims to his car, pretending that he's leaving. But like I said, oh, remember I said that he kept skulls? The number is 12. He kept 12,
So
12 heads in his apartment and then eventually threw them. Okay, that's how Ted Bundy operates. So, um, let's discuss how he ended up this way. Maybe this is not the main reason, but maybe we could get a glimpse of his background just so
Okay.
that we could
And then-
maybe have ideas on
Mhm.
maybe this is the cause of why he did this, maybe this is the cause why he thought
Mhm.
that. Okay, so let's jump into his early childhood. So, uh, Ted Bundy, Ted Bundy's mother was 22 years old when she gave birth to Ted. And because it was in the early 1940s. Oh, his birthday is November 24, 1946, I think. Uh, um, it wasn't widely accepted yet because that's considered early pregnancy.
Mhm.
So, um, they pretended that Ted was adopted by his
Okay.
grandparents and that his mother was his sister.
Mhm.
And when Ted turned into a toddler, so maybe 4 to 5 years old or a little bit older than that, They moved to Washington. His mother and him moved to Washington, and that's when he knew that his supposed sister was his mother. Yeah. So um, after that, um, that's when they moved. That's when his mother met his stepdad,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bundy. I will not say his name, but that's where he got his
His
surname
surname
Bundy. His stepdad is Bundy, not his biological father. His biological father was listed as unknown in his birth certificate.
Oh,
Yes,
I see.
they did not disclose, and
Okay.
probably we wouldn't know because, of course, um, he wouldn't claim that Bundy.
Mm-mm.
Who would, right? But that's what happened. So that's it. When Ted was a child, he is said to be quiet.
Oh, just like
Yes, quiet and reserved. When he was a kid, but when he turned into a teen, like this is probably when he was in college, and he was a pretty bright kid. And he is said to develop into a enigmatic, handsome, uh, kind person. He was very charismatic.
personality.
So people actually he was awarded by a public servant, I think, for his public service acts when he was at this stage. So he's very well known to the community at the time. But when he was a kid, he was quiet and reserved, and
Mm-hmm.
he is said to have a fascination with gore, murder, yes, stuff like that.
At a very young age.
Yes, at a very young age.
See.
Uh, yeah, so that's what the article said. I'm not sure. I'm just relaying it to you.
Oh, and at that very young age,
Yes,
Cocomelon is not invented.
yes. At 3 years old, Jeffrey had an obsession with knives. So I not Jeffrey. Did I say Jeffrey?
Yeah.
I said I meant Ted.
Then, okay.
Ted Bundy. Okay. So that's Ted's early years. So that's his early childhood. What in his teens he's also a peeping tom.
What? I'm sorry. What?
Peeping tom.
What's
So-
sitting to?
Peeping tom is someone who peeps at windows of women just to spy on them.
I see.
there.
Okay.
You know. So that's Ted. So at an early age he had a fascination with women.
I see.
So when he was in college, that's when he met his first love.
Mhm.
His first love was classy. He is considered as his dream girl because she has everything he didn't have
I see.
and
Okay.
that he wanted because she is rich, beautiful, may have many connections, um, classy. She has long, dark hair.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh no.
Just like you.
I have purple. Don't me, okay? Oh, but yeah. But that's, and after his crimes and after investigations, it said that most of his victims resembled her.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So they broke up because the girl broke up with him um, just because I think um, she doesn't find him attractive enough or there's something lacking. So that's his first heartbreak. So I said that. I don't know. But he then met someone. I won't say her
Mhm.
name, but I know if you search Ted Bundy, you will immediately know her name. She is the longest relationship that Ted Bundy had.
Mm-mm.
Um, um, they met in a bar, and then they had a relationship for 6 years.
Wow, that's pretty long.
Yes. And she actually has a kid, and
He
apparently
has a kid.
she.
Okay, she.
So the girlfriend has a kid from another man, and Ted adopted him and welcomed them.
Oh,
But she doesn't use his
He's
surname
not-
because they did
they're
not
not-
get married.
yes.
They're just in a relationship and they
Okay.
live together. So um they said that Ted was so kind to them
Mhm.
and very accepting. Um, so the girl and Ted broke up because uh, she suspected that Ted was doing something behind her back.
Oh,
She doesn't know
no.
at the time that Ted is murdering other women. She just knew that Ted was doing something
Something.
behind her back
Okay.
because they still believe that Ted is just a normal guy that is kind and just maybe have cheating problems. Okay? Because he's very charismatic. Um, so that is Ted Bundy in his early years. So when did his crimes start? His first victim, I don't actually remember his first victim, but uh I would only mention victims that are really classified as his.
Mm-hmm.
So I will itemize them.
Okay.
You? So he it said that 1974 was the year Ted started his crimes. So this victim was murdered in February 1, 1974. She's a 21-year-old woman, and he was bludgeoned while sleeping and abducted. So yes, while sleeping. So
How did
Ted
it
got
happen?
Ted got attracted to this woman, and then he followed her to her house, and then he snuck out.
Creepy.
Yeah. Yes.
Stalking someone. Oh.
Yes, yes. That's why when I go out, because I know about these crimes, whenever I feel like someone is following me, I would go in another direction with so many
Right.
people uh, and far away from my from where I'm supposed to go.
Oh.
So just just so that I'm safe, and I always carry alcohol because I feel like pepper spray would only harm me instead of the other way around. So I carry alcohol so that it stings still,
Yes,
right?
yes, right.
When you spray it in the eyes, so that's what I do. Maybe you could do that also, no? Like, just a tip. Okay, that's. Are you ready for your second?
Yes, so okay, go.
Your second. This is not the chronological order of
Okay.
his victims. This is just items that I found, and that I think have different scenarios of his crimes.
Mm-mm.
So on March 12, 1974, a 19-year-old woman was abducted while walking to a concert.
OMG, just go.
Yes,
Just
just
a
going to
random
a
person
concert
that
and then
would go into a concert and
she was there to have fun and then got bludgeoned to death.
how? How? Do you have any idea how did he abducted that girl or
Yes, because as I said, the modus
okay
operandi of
because he wanted help.
Yes. Sometimes he would pretend to have a cast here. Actually, he said that he can't lift things because
Mhm.
things like that. And then that kind woman just wanted to help, and then got
Why
abducted
do
and
good people?
yeah, it's hard to be good sometimes
Yeah.
when there are people like this. But maybe you can still be kind, but don't help people that
That much.
sound suspicious. And don't go anywhere that doesn't have a lot of people. Maybe Or don't go alone. Have someone with you.
JJ. Hi.
Yes. When I'm with my boyfriend, I'm like, because I feel so safe because my boyfriend is a big guy. So, it's like as if naman nakita na nila yung boyfriend ko. Anyway,
Soon you will. Okay, guys.
maybe. Okay, next. Um, on May 6, 1974, a 22-year-old woman was missing from Oregon State University. So after school, she got abducted. After school. Oh my god. Don't talk to strangers, kids. Even if
Yes.
you're in college, you're still a kid. And another one, this has no date. She's a 16-year-old woman, and she was also ambushed after school. So he started actually mostly revolve around schools or bridges. I watched a documentary that said he had two victims in one day. Yes, at a beach.
Very active.
Yes, with
Killing
so many people. So many people there, and he had the guts to abduct one person from that crowd and lure her away from that crowd, and then afterwards lure another woman away from that crowd on the same day. Like, how bossy is he, right? Um, his crimes isn't just a light thing to do.
Mm-mm.
I don't think. I'm just relating it to you.
Does he have a mental health problems or disorder,
Uh,
or is he normal but just
upon his
doing?
sentencing, he is deemed to be sane. He knows what he's doing.
Oh,
Yeah, he even in his sentencing he even uh proposed. Actually, he actually did. He defended himself because he is not practicing. Actually, he did not graduate from law, but he did study law.
Okay, so he had.
He had an idea,
Yeah.
but he is not a practicing lawyer. But he is ballsy enough to represent himself in court.
Oh, I see.
Yes, that's one thing that they note about Ted Bundy. And if you uh, watch some of the interviews from the inspectors, the lawyers, the psychologists that he has uh, been with, they said that he is very narcissistic. Yeah, that's one common theme in their narration. He's narcissistic, and I in his well, I'll tell you his convictions first before we dive deep there. So um, uh, after all his crimes, he actually was arrested not because of he got discovered, but because of a traffic incident.
Traffic incident.
Yes, because there is, I think in America, there is a routine traffic stop that they should follow, and then Ted didn't. So that's when he was arrested by a traffic
Traffic enforcer.
enforcer. At first, he tried to, um,
Negotiation.
yes, so he talked to the traffic enforcer saying that um, let this pass for now, like that, and he was just uh,
In a hurry.
yes.
Okay.
So the traffic enforcer first inspected his car, and he noticed that there is no passenger seat.
Okay.
So that made him wonder, where is
Why?
your passenger seat? Why do you have only one seat and just for the driver? And then yeah, and then he asked Ted to step out of the vehicle, and that's when he examined it more and found a murder kit.
Murder kit.
Yes.
So
His murder kit was composed of a ski mask, a hammer, a crowbar, a pantyhose that, should I say that? That came out weird in my mouth. I never said that. But no, that hose with he turned it into a mask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then the officer remembered the description of the man that is suspected to be killing women,
Yes.
and he said it. He's dark, he's tall, and he is driving a vehicle. And so he arrested Ted Bundy, and then uh, so at the police station didn't really have that much of an evidence
Evidence.
against him, so they
Let them go.
let them go. But they talked to his ex-girlfriend
Yes.
of 6 years, and
Ex
so
girlfriend.
the
The
one
first
with the
na-
kid,
Okay.
no,
No.
the one
Okay.
with
The
the
one.
kid,
Okay.
the one with the kid. So that's actually when they talked to her, she already said, "I reported stuff this before, but no one listened to me. That I said that my
Partner.
partner is sketchy because the sketch of the man that they suspected to be killing all these women are very similar to
Similar to.
Ted."
Oh.
Yes, and then so that's when and then the Volkswagen that Ted Bundy was driving,
Driving.
he actually sold it to a teenager for a very low price, and then
Okay.
they retrieved that vehicle, and they examined uh, examined it for DNA testing, and they found three DNAs in that car belonging to women. Two of them are dead already. One of them escaped. So
Oh.
they interviewed that one uh, victim that escaped.
So how did she escape?
Um, I don't know if this is the same woman, but I found a video that I think this is the interview of the woman. She was hitchhiking,
Okay.
and then Ted lured her into his car, and they were going to a place that she said she was going to, and then they did not drive to that place. Instead, they went on another direction, and that's when she knew that she's in trouble.
Mm-mm.
She tried getting out of the car when she saw another car passing, so that's when she knew that she's safe. And then
Mm-mm.
so that's how he got away from Ted Bundy.
Oh. Goodness.
Yeah. So because of that, she didn't really see Ted Bundy clearly. So they brought back a lot of men for her to classify who is the man who abducted you, and she said Ted Bundy in that one. And then Ted Bundy got arrested, and he was actually sentenced for 14 years only because
14 years, not a life sentence.
yes, because that time they don't have evidence yet to convict him for a lot of the suspected
Okay.
murders that he did.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, he was only sentenced for that one abduction
Mm.
of the
Instant
girl.
14 years. Okay.
Yes. So they needed to find more
More,
evidence
yes.
against him to convict him for the murders that they think he committed. And so um, of- before that 14 years was over, he actually uh, escaped from prison. Yes, he escaped.
Escape from prison. How?
I the first one I'm not sure, but I think he just sweet talked the guards. For continuation, uh, the arrest of Ted Bundy.
That band. Yes.
Okay, so diba we said that he got arrested for 14 and sentenced to 14 years in prison because of the one he abducted. So and then he escaped from prison.
Mm-mm.
Then after that, After his escape, he was found in the bushes and
Yes.
got arrested again. By then, they were able to find more evidence against him to convict him. And at the time, yes,
How do you find those evidences?
then they checked his apartment, and he was what do you call this, attached to other cases, unsolved
So
cases.
parang there's a
So
link,
yes,
nagli-link. Okay.
yes, they kept on finding they kept on investigating all the houses that he went through, or the colleges that he went through. Um, eh, they searched his apartment, but apparently I don't think they found something there. I don't know if they found the skulls there at the time, but they were able to find evidences against him to convict him of um, a crime, which is murder. And then by that time, he was actually practicing law.
Mm.
Not necessarily practicing because he did not graduate law, but he studied law at the University of Washington, I think. Uh, is it Washington or Iowa?
Okay.
Yes. And then when he was uh, convicted, he decided to um, present himself. I mean,
Mm.
yes. So he was his own lawyer. So in the courtroom, he wasn't cuffed or anything because he is his own lawyer. And um, at at the time, he was able to. He was given permission to go to libraries
Libraries.
and
Okay.
study for his offense, and so that he could defend
Defend
himself
himself.
in the court. And then there was one time that he was allowed in the library, and the library was in the second floor, and he found an open window. That's where he jumped, and then he escaped again.
Mm.
And then he was found 8 days later, but during those 8 days, according to my research, this was the time where he uh, went to a sorority house and assaulted two women from one bedroom. So he assaulted them and killed them, bludgeoned them to death as well.
Mm-mm.
And then he again went to another room and assaulted two women again. One of the women he killed. He bit her sexual parts.
Alright.
So
So okay.
yeah, so he actually left a bite mark in the lower sexual part of the woman, and the other one he assaulted also and thought she was dead, but he survived.
Okay.
So but he got arrested again through speeding. He
Really?
stole a car,
Okay.
and he was speeding in the driveway, and he got arrested because of that and found uh, credit cards that doesn't belong to him. That's why he
Mm-mm.
was arrested again.
Mm.
And by this time, he was able to be convicted with murder because they have the evidence of the bite mark that is associated to him.
Okay.
So
Okay.
his case was stronger because of this. And he was still representing himself in court by this time.
Mm-mm.
And um, he was able to escape again because he lost weight to crawl into a hole in his cell,
OMG.
above his cell. And then,
Okay.
uh, um, unfortunately, the hole led to a room of a staff from the prison, and at the time, the staff wasn't in his room, so he was able to steal his clothes and pretended that he is a
Staff.
staff from the prison. That's how he escaped again, and he was again found. I don't know how long. I was not able to see how long he escaped this time, but he was arrested again.
Because of
He was
other.
found by other circumstances this time, but I think it was just he was found. That's why it wasn't stated in most of the documentaries or the articles that I've read. But he was just found and then again was jailed. Um, this is still during his trials. So by 1980, he was convicted to uh, life, a
Yes,
life sentence.
sentence.
So he was convicted to be electrocuted actually. Yes, so it's a death sentence,
Mm-mm.
not a life sentence. Because in that state, that
That penalty
penalty
is
is allowed. And um, he this sentence was not readily executed
mm-mm.
because the police were and the investigators were trying to find out which cases are really linked to him.
Mm-mm.
So they were able to link 36 cases to
Cases
him, but they were suspecting that a lot of other unsolved cases were also done
related to
by
him. Oh.
him. Yes, so they were trying to make him talk and
Mm-mm.
confess to those unsolved cases, but he said that he would not um, disclose cases that are very close to home and that involves very minor victims. So the police are speculating that uh, he has more than 100 body count. So not, but he has 36 confirmed body count. So maybe the rest of the victims that he has would remain unsolved forever because we wouldn't
Yes.
find out unless there's an invention of DNA or they
Mm-mm.
collected DNA from this person. We don't know because most of the remains of his victims are just parts of
Parts of
their
the
bones.
bones.
Yes, not just parts of their body, it's only skeleton by
Skeletal lang.
now. So we don't
It's
know.
really hard to identify.
Yes, and most of them are scattered, so
Mm-mm.
we don't really. I am speculating that most of the investigators are going to have a hard time finding the victims. By this time, it's dusted because that was 1980s already,
Mm.
and his sentence would uh, last for 9 years until it's carried out. So he was um, electrocuted in 1989. So a whole 9 years after, because the police got tired of him
Mm-mm.
and he really did not disclose the rest of his victims. So that is Ted Bundy. Oh my god.
OMG. It's a lot of bodies.
Yes.
Victims.
Victims. I don't know how he processed all of that, and upon um, hearing him in his interviews, he's blaming pornography for all of this because he said that he was addicted to pornography even as a child,
Mm.
and not just simple pornography. He said violent pornography. So
Oh.
that's what he's blaming. So I don't know. His last interview, he said that um, the evil that surrounding them is the one that caused him to do that. So he's saying that the evil is the um, violent pornography that he was able to consume. So he said that so this is not what he said in quotations,
Mm-mm.
but this is my interpretation of what he
He said.
said. So he said that if those weren't allowed to be consumed and wasn't readily available to him, then maybe he
Will
wouldn't
not
have committed the
take
crimes that
offense.
he did.
Will
So,
not become that kind of person.
yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Kind of speechless that there are people like him.
Yes.
and how they can be able to do those things, especially for women.
I mean, well, that's his preference.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. I don't know how he did it, especially to minors.
Mm-mm.
Also. And he was for 6 years. He was living with a woman and a
Yes.
child, and he
Having
was
a
able a double life,
double life,
right?
because he is having a good image with his family.
Yes.
There's a double identity we're in. He's not good.
So that's Ted Bundy for this episode. Please leave a comment below of what you think of him, maybe, and what you got from this story. Um, so thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out. Well, peace out.